Sorry, I'm a little disorganized, but, and we are a minute late starting the stream, so that's fun. But, in other news, we're fine, because, you go away. Thank you. We are vibing, and, you know, a thing, and everything. So that's fun. Time flies. Okay. Sorry, I'm... So, yes, welcome to my Twitch stream. Okay. I'm streaming because I said I would stream. My plan today was to stream and then head into Kayla's stream, because Kayla is awesome. You know what I'm going to do? Hi, welcome. I'm going to do, I don't know if you know Council of Geeks, but they often, switch between masc and femme presentation on screen, because I don't know why. I think it was at first, when they first came out as gender fluid, it was kind of a thing, but now it's just kind of because sometimes they do, and I am putting in earrings on stream, which I know is a little bizarre. Okay. Yes, for those of you who don't know, my name is Lee. Welcome to my channel. She, they vibes today, but honestly, he, him is fine too. I'm pretty chill about pronouns because I flux so much. Also, have a tendency to, well, I was gonna wear makeup and, like, do the whole thing where I was super femme, but, yeah, that didn't happen. So, I was honestly afraid of making my acne worse, and, ugh. I probably should, at some point, do a full makeup stream, because I like doing my makeup, I never do anymore. Because the pandemic hit, and then I stopped, and then I had the whole realization, and then... Anyway, so some other stream I will do full-on makeup, and it will be really cool. For now, you just get this slightly femme version of me. Maybe I'll throw a shirt on. There we go. Now it looks sensible. Yeah, so I'm Lee. Pronouns, name... Oh, yes. Today, we are going to do Pathfinder, 1st edition. So, I'll show you the core rulebook, actually, because it's fun, and very pretty to look at. Wow. Ta-da! One core rulebook, for the, Pathfinder, 1st edition. It does have a sticker, a blue box sticker on it, because I had a blue box sticker, and blue box is cool. And the tape is because Addie, who's Athena, who is a very good girl, she chewed it. Back when she was a puppy, alright? She didn't know any better, and to be fair, I still think she's a good girl, and I love her very much. And she doesn't get to live in the same house, or anything as me, because I have a very asthmatic roommate. So all I get is a fish. His name's McVenner, he's my streaming buddy. He's right next to the computer right now, actually. So that's fun. But yeah, I like to do Warhammer 40k. Okay, 2 most important world building tools you have. Notebook, pen. The reason is, if you have a really good idea and do not write it down, you will forget, and then you won't have your good idea anymore. So, I've been using this notebook, actually. It's falling apart. It had a cover and a back cover when we started streaming, and, Now it doesn't, because I've been working on, I've been using it so much to do all the different characters. For Pathfinder First Edition, we've been doing this character and that character and the other, and it's a lot of fun actually. And then I'd I did a couple of showcases where we do an epic battle, that sort of thing. But Shipyard Planet. Oh yes, that is something we're doing. That's the house. That is that one. Oh, Gilnia. Yes, we have a bard who still needs a couple of spells. We were working on. Oh, that's another character who doesn't have a name. Okay, so as far as Pathfinder First Edition stuff goes, because we've been doing a lot of fun Pathfinder First Edition stuff on this stream, I've built a world. I don't know if any of you know that. Yeah, so that's fun. Sorry, what was I doing? Oh, yes. So I created, this thing. So I created a bunch of different characters, and what I did most recently was a ranger. Well, she had one level of rogue, Dagmar, and an animal companion who was Mishka the bear, and a sister named Cronoa, and yeah, she's a sister named Cronoa, and also, let me see, 2 other siblings. So I rolled for number of siblings, and then I rolled for birth order, because, and Dagmar was second. I'm going to put Cronoa, and, so we have her. She has rage powers. She has skills. We did the skills for her. We just have to pick first and second level spells, and we can do that easily. So that's cool. So yeah, so I was thinking that today, of course, if anyone wants to pop in and say hi in the chat, I very much appreciate it. Always, and, but also, I am, right, so, oh yes, so I was going to pick out some spells for Cronoa, and then I was going to figure out what their siblings are. And I was going to randomly roll in the charts for those, because I have a bunch of random charts that I like to roll on. Um, Given their siblings, it's either human or half-orc. Usually I roll on this whole table, but once you roll up some siblings, you kind of have to keep within the theory of that. Let me see, where is the dice cam? Here we go. Yep, this is my dice cam. I occasionally use the same camera as a fish cam, but, you know, Glenner's not being particularly interesting, so we're not going to do that today. But, unless someone really, really wants to see the fish. He's just vibing there. Okay, what else? First, second, levels. Right, so, I'll tell you a little about Cronoa. She's 16th level, Barbarian. 11 levels of Barbarian, 5 levels Bard. 18 Strength, 18 Dexterity, 11 Constitution, 11 Intelligence, 10 Wisdom, but 16 Charisma. So, not bad at all in stat department. Feats are Endurance, Toughness, Extra Rage, Power Attack. It's -4 to attack bonus, but +8 damage. Die Hard, meaning auto-stabilization. Endurance just lets you sleep in armor without getting fatigued. Toughness is extra hit points, so she's got 107 of those. 155 while raging, but those go away as soon as the rage ends, which is when you get knocked unconscious, which is a little bit of a problem if you are less than 100% when you go down. Which is why we gave her Die Hard, which is the auto-stabilization. Persuasive, which is a bonus on intimidation and diplomacy checks. And intimidation, she also gets a +2 bonus for being a half-orc, so she's just really good at freaking people out, which is, you know, a vibe. Then dodge and mobility, which allows her to, you know, move and gets a +1 to AC, and so it's 17 total because she's wearing studded leather. No, 18 total, but 16 while raging. Strength surge. So a couple of nice little bonuses it gets from rage and other rage powers. +3 against traps too, and no evasion, but you know. Two damage reduction of 2, 3 while raging. So, and can't be flanked by anyone who's under a 15th level rogue. So that's fun. And someone who's not a rogue just can't flank her at all. So that's cool. +2 to all knowledge skill checks. That's fun. And can make the checks untrained, even though she doesn't have a high intelligence, because she's a bard. So she doesn't know a lot, but she knows a little bit about everything. Esoteric knowledge. Yeah. So her spells so far. So she's, you know, shipped up. We've been working on her on stream for a while. So she's got some cantrips. She's got Message, Mending, Detect Magic, Resistance, No Direction, and Dancing Lights. She then gets 4 first level and 3 second level spells that she knows. I calculated the spell slots already, but let's see what kind of spells we could give her for knowing, because it's, you know, useful to know what kind of spells you know. And then we're gonna roll up a sibling, I think, if nobody has any objection. If you want to say hi in the chat or suggest we do something else, I'm perfectly happy to, you know, talk about other RPGs, you know, build a random tabaxi character here or there, you know, just whatever. I'm down with that. But for now, we're doing Pathfinder 1st Edition, and we're just working on her. I do appreciate when people watch. I really do. What are we doing? First levels. Oh yeah, that's feats. We need spells. Here we go. You know, consulting this book. So, That's a cool one. Actually, is that one we had? Okay, here we go. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I might have to duck out of the stream early. It might be a really short stream. But I want to do at least a little bit of a stream because I promised I was going to stream at 1:30 today. And I know a lot of people don't read the schedule or come, but I did say I was going to stream, so I'm going to stream. And I do, like streaming. I like talking to all of you. I know we don't have a lot of people watching, but, it's one of those things, let's see. Oh, right, we want to do the thing. Okay. Was that today or did I not? Yes, I can't even remember. Okay, so we get a couple first levels and a couple second levels. So what kind of first levels we get? We got Alarm, we could take, Cause Fear, Charm Person. Cause Fear might, let's see, 5 or less fleas for 1d4. Oh, and yes, that is a really, really useful spell that works really well with her vibe. I don't know if it'll. I know you can't cast while raging. I'm fairly certain. But still worth doing. Calm Emotions. That's the second level. Okay, let's see what else we got. We got Charm Person. Comprehend Language. Cure Light Wounds. I try to give almost every character I can Cure Light Wounds because having that spell is clutch. Remove Fear, Silent Image, Summon Monsters. Oh, you can cast summoning spells as a bard. That's pretty cool. Unseen Servant. Undetected Alignment I always thought was kind of dumb. I guess if you're are trying to go undercover, it's useful, but Hideous Laughter is a little fun. Featherfall is... I tend to take Featherfall because it seems like, to me, a very practical spell to have in case something goes horribly, horribly wrong and you fall off. Like, that's a basic safety precaution you can take to avoid going splat from a high window. Disguise Self is fun, but I don't think it fits her vibe so much as a barbarian bard. Identify is also fun, but also not fitting the vibe. It depends on what kind of character you want to have, the kind who knows what's going on. It kind of helps if you're smart, too. That's the kind of thing a bard with high intelligence would take, not a barbarian. We're going to go with Cure Light Wounds, because it is a very clutch, and Featherfall. And I'm going to go with Hypnotism. I'm going to go with Silent Image. I know it sounds like a, but I feel like that'd be something that she would like to have as for personal reasons. Just to be able to summon up, like a picture or something to be able to show off. So second levels, we got Calm Emotion is a good one. Cure Moderate, also a really good, because the way Cure spells work in Pathfinder 1st Edition, which is slightly different than D&D, is you can't upcast, basically. You can cast using a higher level slot, if you happen to have one available, but you cannot, that doesn't actually change the nature of the spell the way it does. Like, in 5th Edition, if you cast a spell using a higher level spell slot, you get extra damage, you get extra damage dice, or extra healing dice, or more, range, or more targets, or something. In Pathfinder, you don't get that, but most spells have higher level versions. Summoning spells, for example, there's summon 1, summon, you get summon monsters 1, and then summon monsters 2, which is a second level. And they do the same thing, it's just, they have, more creatures you can summon, which is all well and good. The only tricky bit with that is that you have to take each spell separately. So you have to take Summon Monsters 1 and Summon Monsters 2 as spells if you want to, and then you can only cast the one you have prepared. So if you have Summon Monsters 1 prepared, you can't upcast it to Summon Monsters 2. You have to cast Summon Monsters 1, but you burn the higher level spell slot to do it, which is kind of sad. But, you know, it's makes sense, and it creates a limiting factor. I realize I'm drinking seltzer instead of tea, but I used to, you know, I did tend to have tea, but that's okay. Right, so let's go with that. So for Cure, you have Cure Light Wounds, Cure Moderate Wounds, and then I think 3rd level is Cure Serious, and then 4th level there's Cure Light Mass, and there's different ones going up the levels. In Glitter Dust, which is kind of like Fairy Fire, blinds creatures and outlines invisible creatures, which is a nice little bonus. There's Cure Moderate, always good. We got Cat's Grace, Eagle's Splendor, Fox's Cunning, all the enhanceability ones. But they're all different spells, so you can only learn 1 or 2 of them. Mirror Image. Creates decoy duplicates of you. 1d4 per plus 1 per 3 levels, max of 8. Misdirections. Oh, so you can screw with people's divination abilities. Pyrotechnics. Rage. You can learn Rage as a spell, but as a barbarian you can rage anyway, so that would be kind of silly. You can also cast Calm Emotions, which is a good one. Scare, Silence, Sound Burst. That's a fun one. Deals 1d8 sonic damage and may stun subjects. That I want. I want Sound Burst. The question is, should I get Cure Moderate as well as Cure Light? That is the question. Because healing is Tongues. Tongues is a good Whispering Wind. That is a useful one. It lets you basically speak out a message, and it will be carried on the wind to your intended target. How long is this? It's 1 mile per level. So, not like as good as Sending, but it has a longer range than Message. It's a nice spell. Okay, what other second levels do we have? We got Tech, Daze, Enthrall's always a fun one, but Darkness, Sound Burst. Oh, there's Suggestion, is a good one. Summon swarms of Shatter, which is the object-based version of Sound Burst. Heroism gives +2 on attack rolls, saves, and skill checks. That's a good one. Hold Person. Yeah, I'm going to give her Hold Person. I think she might need it for... Yeah, I'm going to give her Hold Person. So Hold Person, Whispering Wind, and Sound Burst. Not a lot of intensive damage spells, but to be fair, she's a barbarian wielding a frickin', I don't know what kind of weapon she's wielding. I probably should figure that out. Great axe, great sword. Probably something two-handed and martial. What does she get for perform? Oh yeah, she gets performance for singing and drumming. Okay. So I would say she could wield a two-handed weapon. Versatile one that could be wielded two-handed or one-handed. We'll see what we can get. Let's see what we got. Masterworks are always fun. Oh, she could do a glaive if she wanted. Barbarian with a glaive is... that would be an intensive, great sword. 2d4. A halberd. Glaives are d10s. Times 3 on crits. 10 pounds. Ooh, it's got reach. Ooh, but we could do... that has less damage, but you could trip with it. I don't think she's big on tripping, though, honestly. I think she'd be more... yeah, I want her to have a glaive. Honestly. It's a d10 damage, times 3 on crits. And, just has reach. That's it. I think that would be cool. So, I'm gonna go... yeah, I'm gonna give her a glaive. That's... you know what? I'm giving her a glaive. I mean, I guess I could go with a Great Axe, or, Great Axe does d12. No reach. Although I don't think she really wants reach. I'm gonna go with a Great Axe, then. Reach isn't her vibe. Yeah, so a barbarian with a Great Axe. Which is d12 plus 4 damage. Great sword is 2d6. It's a d10 for small creatures. So a halfling wielding a great sword only does a d10. Also, halfling wielding a great axe, a properly sized great axe, would do a d10 as well. But a d12 or 2d6, the great sword versus great axe, same, you know, vibe. If common sets were to come with d5s, which you can make a d5 that rolls. I have one, actually, a physical d5. If you could make a d5 like that, I would posit that great swords would do 2d5 rather than 1d10 for small creatures, and then 2d6 rather than 1d12 for medium creatures, as opposed to a 1d10, the great axe, which is a d10 or a d12. But she's definitely medium as opposed to small, so she gets a full d12, and unless she stole a great axe from her hobbit compatriot, in which case she would only do a d10. But I don't think or halfling compatriot, rather. But I don't think she would. That's a thing, though. Here's a thought. Okay. Wow, I am tired. Okay, I'm gonna start rolling up another character, because I think... sorry, Dagmar... alright, I'm gonna roll up... yeah, Dagmar's level 11, so I'm gonna roll on a d10 to determine the next sibling's level. And then, we'll put it past that one. Forged, right, that's that one. We'll leave this one blank for in case we need it. So, start with, name. Alright, so we could do, gender, well, let's start with a... and then strength, dexterity, constitution. Constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Okay, I'm gonna roll on a d10. We're gonna have an actual roll, because I want to have at least one actual roll per stream. I might end this stream early. Oh, nobody objects. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm sorry to any of you who are watching. I know there's very few of you, but still a couple. But you know, I'm gonna roll a d10. Let's start with that. We're gonna figure out what level this guy is, or girl, or person. We'll see this this sibling of that. That's a 10. It's actually really hard to read. I know it's hard to read this one. I rolled it instinctively. I probably should have rolled like this one or something. This one's 9. No, we'll go with the 10. I'll see if I can get it to do something a little better. Let me try something. Yeah, it's not. This one, the camera doesn't focus on things up close so well, so it's actually a challenge getting it to focus properly on the dice at all. But which is why I should have gotten a better camera, but they're more expensive, and I was short funds then, so I might be getting a better camera in a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Meantime, that is a 10. So, maybe a year younger than Dagmar. So level 10. And I'm going to roll on the what first chart. I'll show you the chart I'm using. Not chart 1. That one is for next. But we're going to do class chart. This one. We're going to roll on this chart with a d12. We'll use this d12. Pretty easy to see. It shows up on the camera. 10 is a sorcerer. Ooh. Alright, I'm liking this vibe. Now, we're going to... I have a way of rolling for stats that's a little out of the ordinary, but... and I do have a way of trying to make sure that the... main stat is as high as possible, but sometimes it gets really wonky, and in which case you kind of have to go with what you got, and maybe that means multi-classing. We'll see how we do with the stats. I'm thinking we should roll... Oh, so normally I roll on this chart, but because we're working with a family of half-orcs, I'm going to do evens odds, half-orc or human, which would determine whether they're a sibling or a half-sibling of... Dagmar's and Cornoa's. Yeah, we'll do evens odds. We'll do a d4 because I happen to have one right here. So evens, half orc, odds human. Let's do it. Odds human. So a half sibling. Human. All right. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll on the first chart. Boom, 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 boom. Where is my chart? I have this really cool chart. It's the chart I am most proud of. That one. So it usually consists of percentiles. Let's see what's mine. All right, percentiles and another. We'll use this d6 for that. I sometimes use, it says a d12, but I mix it up. Evens or odds. It's evens or odds, so you can really use any. We'll use that d6. Actually, you know what? We'll use this d6 because it matches. Alright, let's see what we get. So 1, and 15. Okay, straight boy. Okay, he's straight. He's fully human, but he's a sibling of. He's a brother to Dagmar and Cornoa, and he has a name. I don't know what his name is yet, though. If any of you like to suggest names in the chat, I do really like when people talk in the chat. I know it seems kind of... I keep telling you this, but... It is more fun that way. Alright, so we're going to take this chart down. So, he's straight, he's human, level 10 sorcerer, possibly multiclassing. I'm going to roll up stats for him, and then maybe... It's a D6, a D10, and a D8. So we'll do that, and this, and that. D6, D10, D8. And then when we get to wisdom and charisma, basically we'll roll twice. Take the higher one for charisma, the lower one for wisdom. Hi. Names? Well, I don't have a name for him yet. I have a name for, Dagmar and, Kunoa, who are his sisters, basically. I'm just rolling up a brother of theirs. Hi, also welcome to the stream. So, if you want to come up with a name for someone who would be a brother to those guys, I don't know. We'll figure one out eventually, but if you have a good suggestion, you know, he's human. Dagmar. Vagmar? Vagmar and Dagmar. You know? That might work. I like it. Let's go. Alright, Vagmar. He's, called V. He's, a sorcerer. Ooh, we could get to pick a bloodline. We could roll for a bloodline. Actually, that could be fun. But first we're going to roll for stats, and then maybe we can roll for bloodline. Let's roll for stats first. What I do for the... I just explained this, but I don't know if you were here for that. I do D8, D10, D6 for each one. I roll them in order. And then for wisdom and charisma, I'll roll twice and take the higher one for charisma, because sorcerer, high charisma. That's the whole thing. So, yeah. Let's roll. Let's see what we get. 6 plus 6 plus 1, so that's 13 strength. Not bad. Oh, and then he gets plus 2. Hi! Hey, we got new friends. Welcome, welcome. We're doing Pathfinder 1st Edition character creation. I'm rolling up a very random character for... Here, I'll show you the thing. Pathfinder 1st Edition. My name is Lee, by the way. Yeah, it does sometimes get you, like, up to 24. But I find that's it's interesting, because sometimes you have extraordinary abilities. And then sometimes it gives you really bonkier ones. Like, I did have one who was a druid, and I ended up rolling, I think, under 10 for both wisdom and charisma. So I was just like, yep, nope, he's just gonna be a failure of a druid. I'm going straight through the book. So, SRD, I do occasionally look at online sources. Oh, yeah. So I do occasionally look at online sources, but for the most part, I'm using the book. Sometimes if I have something like a tiefling that I'm creating, I'll have to go to online sources, or for animal companions, or for things. I'm basically going straight core rulebook, because that's what I have here. But I do occasionally reference online sources when there's stuff that isn't in the core rulebook. Yeah. All the random charts are, of course, my own creation. Like, I'll show you some of the random charts I have. So I have this chart for class. That's why he's a sorcerer. I have that chart. I rolled that for Dagmar, who's his sister, and she came out as half-orc, so I kind of have been basing the whole family on that. I rolled for number of siblings, and I rolled for birth order, because I like random rolling. I also have... What other charts do I have? Oh, I have my favorite chart. This one, for gender and sexuality. He ends up as a straight guy, but, you know. And then I have that one. Well, that's just the map of the world I'm creating for Pathfinder 1st edition, and then each of the characters comes from a place on this map, and so I've been working through some of the history and backstories for that as I go through the character creation. And, the Animal Companion. That's for a different RPG. That's the Animal Companion chart for Rangers and Druids. Yeah, so basically I've been creating... I might have to create one for Sorcerer Bloodlines. You know, we'll see. I've just been creating random charts as needed for rolling up characters, and I have yet to roll up a Sorcerer, so I didn't have a Bloodline chart prepped, but I'm probably going to do one, actually. Oh, but first we have to finish getting stats for this guy. So, 13 strength. Let's go for Dex is... 5 plus 4 is 9. That's 12. Okay, so not terrible physically. Maybe able to hold his own in a fight. We'll see. Probably not going to get weapons finesse as a feat, simply because he has better Dex and strength. He does get one... Oh, that's 3 plus 4 is... 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, that is a -1 Constitution. But he does get a 1 ability score improvement at level 10, so that should help. What else? Intelligence. Let's see how smart he is. Yeesh. Okay. 2 plus 2 is 4. 5, 6, 7. So, a bit of a himbo, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with being a himbo. Okay, now for Wisdom and Charisma. We're going to roll 2, take the highest for Charisma and the lower for Wisdom. If they're both really bad, he's going to have to multi-class. I don't know, probably a Barbarian, because that's the tribe he comes from. Well, 7. That's 11. Okay. So he can cast Sorcerer spells, at the very least, which is... Actually, we could make it up to 13 with the other +2. That might be even doable. Okay, here we go. 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 8. Oh, it's 16. 16! Okay, so he has really good charisma. 11 wisdom and 16 charisma. Okay, this is... he also gets 1 random +2 to anything he wants, and as a sorcerer, I'm going to... Okay, now here's the question. I could give him +2 charisma. As a sorcerer, that would be very useful. I could also give him +2 constitution so that he's not, you know, squishy, because he's already kind of squishy with a 9 constitution. Or buff the intelligence so he's not that much of a himbo. Although, I think he's just going to be a himbo, I think. We're just going to lean into that. Constitution is... The question is, how frail is he? We're probably going to... If I do the charisma for... he also gets a few ability score improvements, being level 10, so we'll work on those as well, but that's the question, is should he take the +2 constitution or the +2 charisma? I guess I could roll evens odds for it, but I want to know what you guys think. Oh, he does have dark... no, he's human, he does not have dark vision. +2 charisma is better. Okay. Let's do that. Alright, so he gets +2 charisma, which means that he is 18, so he is really, really adorable himbo. But, you know, decent strength and dex, and very likable, and kind of an idiot. So that's cool. What was I going to say? So that's him. What else does he get as a human? Should probably check that, because he gets, so half-brother to Dagmar, he gets +2 to 1 ability score, which is charisma. Medium-sized. Fair. Ooh, 30 feet. Alright, not stumpy legs. Bonus feet. Normal speed, sorry. I agree with that, but also having 2 weaknesses is, like, if you only have 1 weakness and bump it up, that's one thing. If you have 2 weaknesses, it's like, ugh. But, on the other hand, makes for interesting character development. Plus, he does have, a few ability score improvements he'll get because he's 10th level, so... And feats. He'll get a bunch of feats. But also hit points and... Well, we'll get to that. Okay, so he gets... additional skill rank and one... Extra skill ranks are going to be clutch because he's going to get -2. I think sorcerers only get 2, so he might only get 1 per level. That might be... He's not going to get a lot of skill points. He'll need all the help he can get with that. Language, although, right, and he can also take that as part of his favorite class, but, 1 additional skill point per level, but he could also take the extra hit points, and with the minus constitution and the d6, that might be his play. I don't know. Human begins to play speaking common. Human, can choose any language they want. I'm gonna give him Orcish, because he has Orcish half-siblings, or half-orc half-siblings, so... He has 2 languages. He's not getting any more than that because he's an idiot, but I think he can manage to if he grew up with them. Though, we'll see. So, let's see. We got that. So, we'll give him no dark vision. 2 languages... Yeah. Either that or he'll have Gilnean, because as part of the world building I was doing was, humans had their own languages that weren't, each group of humans had their own language that wasn't common, basically. It was, yeah, so that way humans would get common and their own birth language, plus others if they were smart, the way a gnome might get common and gnomish. So, because I figured that was fair, and different groups of humans have different languages, and, which is, useful, and then certain non-human creatures might learn the local human language depending on, or they might just use common, depending on, you know, how smart they were and what, you know, their exposure to speakers was, but with such a low intelligence. Well, anyway, I was thinking maybe I could just have him speak Gilnean and Orcish and not even know Common, but maybe we'll go with Common Orcish for now, especially because the tribes aren't technically Gilnean. They occupy a very interesting spot between Bjornga. Actually, I can show you on the map. Bjornga, which is this very topmost, which isn't really a organized country so much as a group of clans and tribes that all share a common language and vaguely similar culture. And then you got Gilnea, which is here, and then you have a Dwarven kingdom that got conquered by Gilnea when it was a powerful kingdom and not in the middle of a civil war that's trying to secede, but the king doesn't want to secede when he can't secede from a proper government, and we don't have a proper government, so it's kind of this weird, complicated thing that's going on. And there's the mountain range that goes right along, right to the south. It goes along the Hitherland border between Bjornga and Hitherland, and it goes along, continues along the border to Gilnea. So the clans, there are Orcish clans and there are human clans that live up there, and then half-orcs, half-Orcish clans tend to be more chaotic, more marauding, tend to fight other clans as much. They do have half-orc members, but those are gained under questionable circumstances at best. Then you have the Orcish, the human clans, and then there are a few orcs that don't want to be evil, basically, so they join the human clans, and then they have to marry humans. That's part of the rule, so you end up with a lot of half-orcs that way, or quarter-orcs, or there's a lot of Orcish blood in the human clans because of that. And this set of siblings was from the human, the clans, because once I did Dagmar, I rolled up Dagmar, I was like, okay, well, what could I do for a half orc? And I was like, well, I had these clans that I hadn't really done a lot of world building on, so I might as well put a, start with her being part of that. And then, of course, when I started doing siblings, because I like doing sibling trees, I rolled for a number of siblings and then rolled out the siblings and figured out, well, how do you end up, going? So, yeah, that's a little bit of the thought process. Sorry. I'm very excited about this world that I'm building and the characters I'm creating in it. Vagmar being one of them. Level 10 sorcerer. I don't think there's any need to multi-class, because, yeah. So, Bloodline. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to, put together a Bloodline chart. And while I'm doing that, I will talk about the different bloodlines I found. I'm only using, core rulebook bloodlines, because, there are only so many. Sorcerer would be Draconic. Okay, so first we have to figure out how many bloodlines there are. So, oh, right. My keyboard. Okay, this is fun. You're gonna have to bear with me. Sorry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do this. I'm going to have to work with finagle some things, because my keyboard is being annoying and not typing half of the... No. Okay. Okay, so, that would be 3, 4, and 1. Okay, so, let me count the bloodlines first. We got Aberrant, Abyssal, Arcane, Celestial, Destined, Draconic, Elemental, that's 7, Fey, one of my favorites, Infernal, that's 9, Undead, that's 10. Perfect, because that makes it a D10 is a very easily rollable dice. So I just have to get the rest of the numbers all set up. Basically, I have to, there are certain numbers my keyboard won't type because it decided to throw a hissy fit after McVenner splashed water on it, which I still forgive him for because he's my baby fish. So, what I've been doing is, well, let's see, I'll get 1 from there anyway. What I've been having to do is, no. Beautiful. Oops. There we go. So now I just need 3 and 4. So what I've been having to do is copy. Oh, there we go. There's that. I've been able to, for the most part, get around it. It's just I keep forgetting that my numbers don't work. And then, you do what you can. But, anyway, so I'm going to start with Apparent. So I have a aberrant, rather. Basically, sorry, two S's in abyssal. So aberrant is there's a taint in your blood, one that is alien and bizarre. You tend to think in odd ways, approaching problems from an angle that most would not expect. Over time, this taint manifests itself in your physical form. You have knowledge engineering as a class skill. So basically, aberration is the bloodline trace. So you have knowledge engineering, bonus spells of enlarge person, see invisibility, tongues, black tentacles, feeble mind, veil, plane shift, mind blank, and shape change. So bonus feats, combat casting, improved disarm, improved grapple, improved initiative, improved unarmed strike, iron will, silent spell, skill focus in knowledge engineering. And whenever you cast a spell of the polymorph subschool, the duration increases by 50%. To a minimum of 1 round. Does not stack with increases by granted by extending the spell, the feat extend spell, or extended spell rather. So there's that. Then there's certain bloodline powers, acidic ray. You can fire acidic ray in extended action, targeting any foe within how many feet? 30 feet. Range touch. And 1d6 points of damage, +1 for every 2 sorcerer levels. Use the ability number times per day, 3 plus charisma modifier. So that's apparent. Then you got abyssal, which is for, so you got abyssal, which is generations ago, demons spread its filth into your heritage. While it does not manifest in all your kin, for you it is particularly strong. You might sometimes have urges to chaos or evil, but your destiny and alignment is up to you. So, and you get the bonus spell, Knowledge Planes. And if you're a tiefling, with Abyssal Bloodline tiefling, if you're a tiefling, you get to count because you get a -2 charisma as a tiefling, but you get to count, you get to count your, if you're Abyssal Blooded Tiefling, you get to count your charisma as being 2 higher for things like determining casting modifiers, basically. Determining, like, your, how, your spell save DC and stuff like that. And damage and other things that use, your, spellcasting modifier as, that. So you get to use that for your, thing. So that's cool with an abyssal. That also is the infernal. That allows you to do that with infernal as well. Then there's arcane. Family has always been skilled in Eldritch art of magic. While many of your relatives are accomplished wizards, your power develops without the need for study or practice. Basically, if you have enough wizards in your family, it kind of seeps into the bloodline, and babies are randomly born with magic powers. If you don't, sorcerers are, I think it was, most sorcerers are assumed to have the arcane bloodline, unless otherwise noted, so it's kind of like the basic. Which, in 5th edition, the basic is draconic. I know this because it's the only one you get in the basic rule set. Then you got elemental, power of the elements. Times you can hardly control its fury. This influence comes from an elemental outsider in your family history, or a time when your family relatives are exposed to a powerful elemental force. So Yeah, so you have Burning Hands and Scorching Ray, but if you're of an element other, you can be air, fire, earth, or water. And you, Burning Hands and Scorching Ray change types to match the energy type. So air, you get electricity. Earth, you get acid. But you also get an elemental movement. So, for example, air elemental sorcerers get 50 speed fly speed. Earth elementals get a 30 speed burrow feed. Fire elementals just get a base speed of bonus, so you just get to move twice as fast on land. And then water elemental sorcerers get extra swim feet of 60 feet, so you don't have to worry about swim checks. So you can just cruise through the water. It's great. So that's elemental. There's also destined, draconic. Just basically, you're destined. Or your bloodline is for something. What that destiny is, who knows? And then there's draconic, which is dragon interbred with the bloodline. That's a fun one. That mostly comes from bards, I think, at least in the meta. Then you got undead. Taint of the grave runs to your family. One of your ancestors became powerful at your vampire, or stillborn before returning to life, or your one of your parents, perhaps, or grandparents was raised from the dead or reincarnated, or, use a raise dead spell to bring them back to life, and that will screw up with your bloodline. And you can count on the foul powers of the afterlife. The more you draw on them, the closer you come to joining them. Starting at the first level, you can make a melee touch attack as a standard action that causes the living creature to become shaken for a number of rounds equal to half your sorcerer movement. If you touch a shaken creature with the ability, it becomes frightened for 1 round. If it has fewer dice than your sorcerer level, you can use this ability number of times per day equal to 3 plus your charisma modifier. So basically, you can just freak people out by making them feel their own mortality. Sorry, I know okay. But here's what I meant to do with all of that. I also stopped reading the chat, and I'm sorry, luckily none of you said anything, but what I meant to do with all of that is air. Okay, so what I meant to do was... No, that's the one. Okay. Then, this is... While I was babbling about all of that, I was putting together a thingamabob, which I will show you when I get it properly formatted. It is my quick and dirty chart generation method. Yes. Oh, Bloodline Chart, because I do not have that. Okay, so it's a PNG file, which means I just need to bring it up here, and I can show you how cool the new thing is. I tend to do this, would be an image. Yep. Okay. And then we bring it up with the, it would be in, I hope in picture, I hope I saved it in the right, that one. Yep, this is the one. Beautiful. Okay. So, I have created a sorcerer randomization of the Bloodline Chart, which is super cool. So I know it takes a long time to do that, but we shall see what kind of bloodline this human has with his orcish siblings and his questionably smart nature. It is a D10, right? Yep. 1d10. We'll use this D10. Here we go. What kind of magics? Let's see. Okay, that's got it. I'm going to roll it a 9. Infernal. Oh, okay. Someone got with a devil for some reason or another in the distant past. This is interesting. This is very interesting. There's probably like a interesting story beat here, but for now, we'll just go with Infernal. That's why I like randomizing things, is because all sorts of crazy stuff happens. So, let's see. Infernal, HP, and AC written up there. That is to be determined later. Yeah. Okay. I am very sorry. And we have feats. Alright, I'm going to write down how many feats we have. Then how many skill is... Oh, that's rogues. Rogues get 8 plus intelligence modifier. Sorcerers get skills. 2 plus int modifier. So 3 plus int modifier because he's human. Int modifier is -2, so... Yeah, one per... So he gets exactly 10 skill points. This is fun. He does not have many skills. Because he's himbo, but that's okay. He can have an extra 10 because, we'll see how many hit points he has, and see if that, because you get, the way favored classes work is if you have, one class is your favorite class, if it's the only class you have. That is possible. I could, yeah, I could do random number generators. Absolutely. I don't even think I have to set up an account. But, I like having the charts, like, showing off the charts. Like, hey, this is this cool chart I made. And then, if it's, a number that isn't necessarily one of the die, like, here, for example, animal, no, we narrowed that down to 8. But, for example, the class, the class chart is, there was only 11, so I just said 12 is a reroll. I mean, if there were only 9, we could do a 10 with 10 as a reroll. If there were 7, I think I have a D7, actually, somewhere. In one of my, Impact Miniature did this whole line where they did a bunch of random level dies, so I have a lot of, like, I have a D24, a D5, and then, of course, you can do D3s with, other ones. And if it's something that, you know, isn't standard, you can tweak it, you know? And if it's longer, then you can do stuff like multiplication, or stuff, you know, fun stuff. It is possible, like, I could set up a random number generator, but I kind of like these physical charts, you know what I mean? I like rolling the dice physically just because I'm a sucker for dice, for the shiny click-clack math rocks, and a lot of the games I'm in or run, we all roll electronically, so I get limited chances. So, yeah. But that is a possibility. Yeah, shiny click-clack math rocks are very, very fun stuff. Okay, so we, oh, right, I'm going to take away the chart because we don't need it. So we have Bloodline, an Infernal Bloodline, which could be fun. So we got that going. So for feats, I'm just going to check the chart to see how many feats I get. Hit dice is D6, so I get that many. Feats and ability score increases based on 10th level. Then, yeah, ability score. That's for the point buy system. Race, here we go. 10th level. So I get 5 feats, but 6 because human and probably some bloodline feats from sorcerer, so I'm guessing I get more than that. And 2 ability score increases. So I can increase 2 ability scores by 1 each. or one ability score by 2. So that is a possibility. Constitution, intelligent. I could bump up Constitution. I don't know, because succubi would be an abyssal bloodline. I actually know these. I actually know that succubi are demons, not devils. Because I have had... That was what... I had 2 tieflings that I created for a Pathfinder game. I statted them up fully. They were NPCs, but I did stat them up fully, and their great-grandmother was a succubus. Or an incubus, rather. Although her mother swore up and down that it was a human bard, but it was an incubus, and so she had a kid who was a tiefling, and then who had then another daughter who was a tiefling, and who had 2 daughters who were tieflings, and maybe a female devil. Although I'm thinking... yeah, that is a thing. I actually had that as one of my character's backstories, that her... she was a sorcerer, but her mother was a bard, who had honeypotted a dragon for plot purpose, to actually betray him, and then felt bad about it, but still had a kid, and that was, And then I had another player who decided to do a draconic bloodline sorcerer who was like, hey, you know what, we're going to take the bard and dragon thing and make them actually like a wholesome married couple. An Alu devil? Maybe. Let me see. Alu demons are semi-demon hybrids born to a succubus and her human victim. They only have one gender and are always female. Unlike other demons, they're demons, not, devils. Which is, 2nd edition. Yes. Sorry. Interesting. Good to know. We will have to think on that, because devils do more pact. So I'm thinking maybe, one of his, parents, or great-grandparents even, made a deal with the devil for some, important, reason. Ooh! That's a thought. You make a deal with the devil that he gets to father your firstborn child, right? And then your firstborn child is twins. So he takes the firstborn twin, and then you have the second twin who's also got conceived from a devil, but also isn't, technically taken as part of the deal, so you just end up with random bonus baby, which is, at least you have one kid, right? And so then you raise your kid as your own, even though he's part devil, because, well, what else are you going to do? And then, who grows up raised by humans gets to be a member of the community, even though he's part devil, and maybe has kids of his own, and then that comes in the bloodline, and then, a couple generations, randomly every few generations, you get tieflings. You get stuff like tieflings, or you get, the whole bloodline's filled with tiefling, occasionally pops out a tiefling or a infernal blooded sorcerer, and you just kind of go with it. That might be a thing. We'll have to figure that out. Feats. So he gets 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 feats at least. Probably more, because sorcerer. And then, strength, dexterity. I think that, bump Constitution up to 10, because that is dangerously low on saving throws. And maybe bump Wisdom up to 12. So he has a little bit of, a little bit of common sense. As he gets older, he gets healthier and has a little more common sense. Makes sense as an arc for character development. That's +1, +1, +0, so at least it's on minus, and that'll help him a lot, especially if we want to give him extra skill points instead of extra hit points, because he gets, as someone who has only had one class, he gets 1 per level, either 1 extra hit point per level or 1 extra skill point per level, and with intelligence as low it is. Yeah, I'm not going to bump his intelligence because it's going to be a -2, because you know what? He deserves to be a himbo. That's his vibe, But he does get a little extra wisdom and then a +4 charisma. And we'll see how many... Okay, that's barbarian. Okay, so first goes toward regular. Third. Alright, go to sorcerers. That's wizards. Hang on. Spells known, and let's see. Class skills. Class features. Look at the chart. Oh, yeah. Bloodline spell. Bloodline feat. Alright, so. Bonus feats. At 7th level, sorcerers receive 1 bonus feat, and every 6 levels thereafter, sorcerers receive chosen from the list specific to each bloodline. Must meet the prerequisites. Okay, so 1 at 7th and 1 at 13th, but he's only 10th level, so he gets 1 extra bloodline feat. So that one, 1st and 2nd are starting, 3rd level, 5th level. Oh, so the 6th. Okay, so that one is the bloodline feat. We'll have to figure out what that is when we go back to choose feats. I do have to go to work. My plan today was to raid into Kayla, Time Lord's wife, who is very cool. Starting on I guess I could raid into Brush for Hire, Minnie's painting thing. Yeah, I have to go to work, so I'm gonna set up. So essentially, I will continue this on Friday, and then Thursday late night at midnight is gonna be my that's tomorrow at midnight, so Friday at midnight, because the way things work like that. But midnight is going to be the late night stream Thursday night. And then Friday we're going to continue with Pathfinder 1st Edition, so we'll keep going with Vagmar and maybe figure out the youngest sibling and see what their deal is. And then after that, we'll see. Thursday's going to be Warhammer 40k. I know I'm going to try to do a stream on Saturday, but I haven't announced it yet because I haven't figured out what it's going to be exactly. And, of course, Monday is going to be the world building stream, which is actually Bashir, and we're going to continue with that, community-led, and we'll see on that one. But, yeah, thank you for joining me for the stream today. Always appreciate it. Come back from other streams, or you don't have to, but it'd be very appreciative. I would appreciate it greatly. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.